decision. Hello, Elisa, how are you doing? Now we are live in all our platforms. Thank you so much for joining me. I was telling our audience that literally right now there is so much going on. The market is changing by the minute. And of course, we want to make sure that everybody knows what's happening. So if you guys are looking or just want to know what's going on, please stay tuned.
Yes, great. And we actually had to move the day because I remember Tuesday there was such a big inconvenience with the rain. So we hope if you're watching that everything ended up good with you that day, this
Oh
Tuesday.
yes.
We are
Oh my
we're we're,
goodness.
we're alive and safe. So we
A
hope
lot
that
of
also happened to you.
apocalypse happen.
Apocalyptic event. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna dive right into it. But before we do, I just want to explain the dynamic for those who are watching us for the very first time. What we do when we are doing the condo comparative analysis, which we do every month, we compare the last quarter, in this case 2024, with the comparative quarter on 2023. So this kind of comparison is what we are doing right now. The first Q 2024 versus the first Q 2023. Most of it. If there's anything different, I will comment on it. And while Carla is trying to pull up the first page of our presentation, I'm just want to mention you a little bit. Probably you're following the market. As you know, here in the GTA where I trade, the condo sales increase with slight moderation in the first quarter of 2023 relative to the first 3 months of 2024 relative to the very first 3 months of 2023, right? So the numbers of condo listings, however, increased, which benefited buyers with a lot more choices, which led to the average condo selling price to go down. And if you are still sitting there on the fence, please jump right in, get your pre-approval, and start looking for places. You don't have to have any hardcore commitment to start. However, if you start educating yourself, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, because this is indeed, if you ask your friends who have purchased before, if you ask your family, this is a really unique place in the market where you can enter and buy a property, in this case a condo, which is much cheaper than buying a full detached home or what have you, a freehold property. And why? Because now you have the power of negotiation here, right? Because you have so much more choices. There's so many condos out there that now the sellers have to compete and appeal to place appealing the prices to you. So the prices are not going up because there's not many buyers right now out there. And what does it mean in numbers? The total condo sales was up only slightly above 5% Q1 2024 when compared to Q1 2023 on a year-over-year basis, while the condo listings were up for more than 23% over the same period. And now we're going to review the numbers so you see exactly what I'm talking about, so you can start making informed decisions and know that this is an amazing time, this 2024, to enter as a first-time home buyer or a first-time investor into this incredible market of condo market. And Carla, have you have seen the market from your end? In terms of expectations, or how do you see exactly what I just have commented here? Because it's definitely slower. There's a lot of competition with the sellers.
Yes, definitely. There is not competition with the buyers like it used to. It's more competition with
With the
the sellers,
sellers.
which is very good for buyers for sure. And also, it's a very unique time in history, to be completely honest. And nothing like we cannot compare what's going on today to any other recession that Canada has gone through before. At the same time, definitely there are key factors that suggest that rates might drop um, in the next year or so. I mean, nobody has a crystal ball, of course, and nobody knows what's the event that really is going to push for that um, drop in rates. So now, what we have been suggesting for now um, few months is that is a very unique time because even though the rates are up, they are not as high as they used to be. For example, in 2023, which was like the very peak of rates, I can attest that last year we almost had even at 7% a 5-year rate with some banks. And now we started to see more like a 4.79%. Now you can negotiate here and there, and why not? Maybe a little bit lower. But definitely, as I was mentioning to you before, is if somebody really wants to get into the market right now with less competition, and why not? Definitely keep in mind that in Canada you do not negotiate your rate for 25 years or 30 years. You negotiate your rate for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, no more than that usually. Even though you can go as high as 10 years, you never negotiate your rates for more than the 5 years typically. Now, with that in mind, one of the things that I wanted to tell people is that, if you enter into the market, yes, perhaps your rate is going to be higher, but at the same time, there are strategies that we can do that whenever the rates drop, we are able to, quickly react to that and get a much lower rate.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because that is really important, especially those who have not purchased before. They don't know how many different options they have in terms of the period they can lock or any other terms within the financial portfolio when it comes to their mortgage. Yeah, that's really important. Um,
100%.
and going with also with that, you know that it is speculated that people who rent right now will consider purchasing their first home sometime this fall. And why the speculation? Well, once interest rates start trending lower, the next Bank of Canada announcement is pretty close. It is July 24th, and the following one is on September the 4th. Therefore, we should be looking for condo sales to pick up, right, as more first-time home buyers enter the market, because then you will have a much healthier mix. You're going to have much more buyers than the sellers we have right now on the market. So the prices are not going to go that much lower any longer. That's what we speculate, because there's going to be more competition, not only among the sellers, but also among the buyers who are looking for a specific property.
Of
And
course, of course.
right.
Yes, I, I would like to add because you're gonna, show us the numbers of June 2024, and many people were like, you know what? As soon as the Bank of Canada starts to cut rates, maybe it's just gonna put that. Um, how can we put it? At, okay, so many people thought that once the Bank of Canada lower rates, the market was going to be stimulated. But
Mm,
0.25% didn't do it. Now,
no.
as we progress and the Bank of Canada does another reduction, and then September, there is another speculation that it will drop again. And why am I saying this? Because the numbers of the United States don't add up right now to keep the interest rates as high as they are in this precise moment. So,
Sorry.
Luna!
She wants to be on
So
camera.
Of course. She's like, I am the queen of the Instagram guys. No, but definitely, guys, is something that we have to watch out, especially if you need to do anything in reality with your mortgage. Um, the next few months are gonna be very crucial for you guys to perhaps make a decision for your mortgage. So definitely stay tuned. But
Yes.
I'm not gonna hold the floor. The floor is yours. Please let us know what happened in June 2024 in the condo market.
Well, yeah. Imagine that we go down 75 points by September. That would be nice.
That will set a tone. That will set a tone,
I mean,
definitely.
nice and not nice, but I'm not talking to you now. I'm talking to the first-time home buyers. Nice because you can lock in a lower rate, but also the
Uh-huh.
competition is going to be higher. Probably the condo prices are going to be higher. So exactly, it's what are you losing? What are you gaining? I just would like to mention last thing before we go into the graphs. Know that if you're pre-qualified, if you get your pre-approval done, you can look for a long time. Carla can log this for you up to 120 days. That means if the interest rate it's here right now, she can lock it for 120 up to 120 days. But if the interest go down, the bank will have to honor the new lower rate. Okay, and
Exactly.
if it goes up, they will honor the interest rate they lock you with, so you don't lose
Yeah,
anything. And we have now July, August, and September. We have still 2 more announcements. So for
100%.
you, instead
And
of waiting all the way till September, you can lock it now. And if something changes before your closing date, before you take possession on your condo, let's say if you taking possession September, October, that will have to be honored for you, right?
yeah, 100%. And you know what, Elisa? It's good that you're mentioning these 120 days. One of the strategies, of course, is one thing to tell you an strategy, and another thing is when you are negotiating the terms and everything, when you are in the purchase and sales agreement. But if possible, if you are able to push that closing date to, like 90 days or a little more, that will give you the peace of mind that you have the lowest rate right now, but if the rate drops in the next 90, 120 days, then you can negotiate a better rate. So
Yeah.
some of my clients have done this, and literally one of them saved over 1% in her mortgage because
Yes,
she
I want to
she did
mention
this
this to the
strategy.
public because if you are listen very carefully, and by the way, if you think this information it's relevant, share it with anybody you know. Um, Subscribe to our YouTube channels and share that link, please. Because also, I would like to mention on what
100.
you said. Right now, as a buyer, you do have power of negotiation, and your negotiation tools are
Yes,
not only price, are also what Carla is mentioning, the closing date. And because we have much more condos right now on the market, you probably, if we get into the negotiation, probably you could be able to request 90-day closing, and probably the seller will agree to that. So now I like this time where we are right now, because both buyer and seller can get into a conversation where both can end up like benefiting of the
we're both
transaction,
equal.
right? Where both can
Yeah,
benefit from the transaction. So whatever Carla is
exactly.
mentioning right now, probably in the future, on the 2025, you will not have probably that. I will say it like it is. It's a luxury, right? When we are in the seller's market, buyers requesting anything is a luxury.
It's a luxury. Elisa and I go like way back, like even like the pandemic, but we worked a lot throughout the pandemic, and we can both attest that literally having a financing condition in when there was a pandemic, it was close to
It
impossible.
was
Close
useless.
to impossible. Yeah. Yeah. It's Cynthia is telling us, but higher rates means also less approved amount to buy. Yes, yes, you're absolutely right. The interest rate, it has to be taken into consideration plus 2%. Yes, but at the same time, Cynthia, in this precise moment, the the prices of the condos also are dropping. So that's why it's a little bit of a level in between the rates and the price of the condos.
Yes, I would like to. Yeah, I would like also to explain, Cynthia, in a different perspective. Let's say I'm just speculating. You buy a condo right now or $450,000 with a slightly higher rate. Okay. When your term is over, if you choose a 1-year term, 3-year term, or 5-year term, you can renegotiate. Okay. And you, of course, going to get a lower interest rate. But nobody's going to negotiate or bargain with you that you reduce the amount of the price of the condo you purchased. So now, if you wait for the interest rates to really go down, and probably instead of 450, the condo is now 550, you can still negotiate every term when your mortgage matures to negotiate different rates. But now you have 100,000 more dollars in your debt, right? So that's the logic behind it. And that's why people still jump into the market and keep buying, because they know what is movable, what is changing is the interest rate or the institution you want to work with. Because that's what Carla, as a mortgage broker, can do, always find you the best solution for you, so you can always try to pay less monthly payments. But whatever selling price for your condo was is fixed. That is not going to go lower anywhere, right, Carla? So that's also it's a very interesting point when somebody brought it to me, because I would prefer right now, which many people have done, they purchased slightly higher. They locked in instead of 5 years, they locked, right, Carla, in 3, or some brave people even 1 year, because
No,
they know
and you
that this, let's say this 7% can go to 5%, and then probably to 4% to 3%. But if you bought at 550, it's not gonna go to 450. That's a fixed number. I don't know if that analogy I don't know if I was able to explain this properly, but you know what? At the end of the day, what you can do, if you can help us to put our the link for a meeting there, Carla, we can have a personalized meeting and pull up the numbers, do a Excel spreadsheet, and and go through it. So Cynthia knows, and everybody who buys should know, and make informed decisions exactly where the numbers and how to spend those numbers, right? Where they go.
yeah,
Cynthia, let us
100%.
know. Please give us a sign there, a thumbs up or something, if we covered your question.
Thank you.
Anyway, so okay, let's dive into the graphs, because we have very little time left to do this. But basically, it has been going the same trend as was the previous quarter. It's just the numbers are slightly different. Excuse me. So what we are seeing now, what our friends in Instagram cannot see, but if you go to our YouTube channels, you definitely can see the graphs. And my voice has changed suddenly. Sorry. I don't have water here with me. So we can still see in this graph that Toronto occupies 65% of the entire condo transactions in the entire GTA. In the second place is the Peel region, primarily because of Mississauga, and York region because of Markham and Richmond Hill. And the price range is between $600,000 and $700,000. And in what can you find in this price range, or what people have been preferably buying in this price range? Well, 25 and 20% mostly is 1 bedroom and 1 bedroom plus den. Then 32%, which is a larger amount in the GTA, is 2-bedroom condos, which is closer to the 700,000. So depending on what you're looking for, you're in that 100,000 range bracket. Let's go to the next slide. please. Yeah, and this is exactly what I just mentioned. Those who are in our other platforms can see this, exactly what I mentioned. So let's just skip this slide right away. I just mentioned that. And let's see what we have next. Carla, are you there?
Yep. Sorry, I'm putting the
Oh,
link.
the link.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Ba, 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 ba.
So just
Multitasking here, guys. I am the backstage, the front stage.
you are the director of the orchestra, right? So as I
Yeah,
mentioned
no.
when we started, that's what we see here in the GTA, in the condo sales market from first quarter 2023 compared to the first quarter of 2024. We see an increase of only 5.3% of number of units sold, which is not a lot comparing that, almost 12 years are in between, 12 months are in between. However, the prices again slightly dropped 1%, which before the inflation year, that was unheard of. Condos were just going up and up every single year, sometimes less percentage, sometimes more percentage, but always going up. Now we have a decrease from $700,000, a slight dip, into $693,000 in overall as an average. Let's go to the next one so we can section more exactly where we can buy the cheapest units and what exactly these units represent. So let's go to the next slide, and we see here downtown core, Toronto, which represents in our terms CO1 and CO8, but it's right by the waterfront and the financial district and the fashion district. And we can see here that people, for by far, as you can see in the graph, are spending between $600,000 and $700,000 to buy the condo, which is primarily one bedroom plus den. However, you can see also there were few sold of less than $400,000 in this area close to the CN Tower. So it is possible, it is doable. You can buy condos less than $400,000, which most of them were bachelor units. And on the second place, behind the one bedroom plus den, you have one bedroom, and the third place occupying two bedroom condos. So let's go to the next one. And right now in second place, where most condos are sold, and in north of Toronto, in the North York City Center, which some people call it the second downtown in Toronto, which is just above the 401, where is Yonge Street, Shepherd, and Finch, in those areas where the subway can take you right straight into downtown. And we can see here, for the same amount of between $600,000 and $700,000, people are buying one bedroom plus 10 or two bedrooms.
I was gonna tell you, Elisa, we have here Rosa Rocha, who says, I want to buy a condo, but don't understand why you talk about. And it says, I want one of those condos less than 400.
Okay, I want one of those. So, yes. So you know what? Contact us. Send me a DM. What we're gonna do once I get into a Zoom call with you, I'm gonna pull up in my secondary screen. I'm gonna share my screen with you, and we're gonna scan the areas where you want to purchase it, and we're gonna see exactly what amenities it contains. Because I have seen that in downtown Toronto, many units that are cheaper is because they are not sold with a parking lot. Okay, that is in the city in downtown core. We're gonna see now another areas like North York or Mississauga, which is a different story. But I know that in downtown core, a parking lot can cost you from $7,000 to $100,000 in average, right? So if you're buying a place and you are not relying on a car, where you can use public transportation or probably walk to your office, well, you don't need a car, and then you save yourself paying insurance every month, maintaining the car, right? So sure, absolutely. And she says it's in Mississauga. Yeah, if you are bear with us, the next slide is Mississauga, and we're gonna jump right there, and I know you are on Instagram. You cannot see the graphs, but I'm gonna tell you that there also we have sold several units this quarter. Actually, they were sold 3 bachelors this quarter for less than $400,000, and also you can find 1 bedroom apartments, condos, for less than $400,000 that do not include a parking. The rest were slightly above 500,000 for 1 bedroom. Most of them that are above 550 and between 600 are 1 bedroom plus den. Okay, so you have still a very big range. We're talking about $100,000 between 500 and 600. So if you're looking something less than 400 or maybe 420 or 430, something in the average, we can always look at that and we can pinpoint in that area exactly what you're looking for. We do the visits. You for sure get your pre-approval with Carla, which, no strings attached, because we need that information for you to be able to negotiate a successful agreement of purchase and sale. But if you're interested, please send us a note and we can set up a meeting and we can explain you the entire process. Okay? And thank you. Now, we have here condo rentals. Now, this is specifically of interest to investors. If you are those very first-time home investors who would like to start purchasing a condo, this is your data. And we can see here that the number of unit rented increased almost 20%, which is a phenomenal number. Because traditionally, when you purchase a property here in the GTA and specifically in downtown core, very rarely it will stay vacant longer than you ever think. So your investment will show up sooner than later. And the rental prices are very high as well. So they only decreased 1%, from $2,469 a month to $2,441 a month. Again, this is an average because there are 1-bedroom condos in downtown core that can rent for over $3,000. So it depends where you are renting, or if you are looking for an investment property in Mississauga or North York, that's a slightly different story. And also the days on the market also will vary, right? But again, we can do that very personalized per community, and we can analyze exactly where are you looking into purchasing. Yeah, okay. So I think I mentioned this, so we can skip this one altogether.
Okay, perfect.
And now the closing point here. I put a very big graph here that is showing the vacancy rate since the first quarter from 2019 all the way to the first quarter of 2024. And right now the vacancy rate is of 2.6%. The previous quarter, how we closed 2023, was a vacancy rate of 2.5%. So the increase is very slight. It's almost, in my books, almost insignificant when you're talking about the entire GTA, about this vacancy rate. If you want to see this into perspective, you know that Toronto was like a ghost town during the pandemic, mostly by the end of the last quarter of 2020 and starting 2021, and there the vacancy rate, yes, it was much more than 6.5%. So we have gone all the way down again, and downtown Toronto is or the very populous downtown cores in Mississauga, Toronto, and North York are getting back to life. We are not in a pre-pandemic vacancy rate yet, but this is still very healthy, right, Carla?
Of course. Elisa, I don't know if you answer how much will be the down payment for Rosa Rocha.
Down payment
I can
for
I guess for the 400. Okay.
Sure.
Rosa, for the down payment, it really we need to make sure that we do an assessment. The answer that most people will tell you is 5% of that, but it really depends on your income, your credit, and everything else. So please contact me, and I will make sure that I do an analysis of the situation, and I will let you know how much is the down payment. Elisa, thank you so
I
much.
just want to mention, Rosa, do not hesitate to contact us because you may find out much more information that you are aware of. So, as you know, you have benefits as a
We personalize it.
and as you know, you have benefits as a first-time home buyers. You know, we in Toronto and outside of Toronto in a provisional manner, so you can take also advantages of all that. So even though you may telling you one down payment is one thing, or if you have more than 5 years or less than 5 years in Canada, there's so many variables. Carla is gonna look for you to try to make the best solution. So, I mean, I would not even think twice of doing this. Canada is a very different country that I don't know where are you originally, but many countries outside of Canada have very different ways of doing these qualifications. And here is really complex, but it's really, really good. It's really good, really good. Everything is calculated down to the T. So there's no loose here. So thank you so
All right.
much
Thank you so
for listening,
much.
Rosa.
I really appreciate it.
And thank you, Carla.
Thank you. Thank you so much.